Sometimes when you get a pair of shorts, they're a bit too long in here in the rise for you, and it like bunches around your crotch. And especially for women, we don't want more bunching in our tummies and crotch area, but you don't want it so tight that you have a camel toe either. So what we're going to do, because they fit good in the length, we don't want to reduce any of that, and it's just pooling in here around their crotch. So we're going to just reduce at the waistband. So we're going to reduce it by 1 inch. You can see it goes all the way almost to the edge of the pocket. So I'm going to detach the whole waistband, take it off, and then reduce it, put the waistband back on. And then it sits where they want without it bunching and having extra material in their crotch. So first thing I'm going to do after I've marked the shorts, I'm just going to release the belt loops, because you have to release the belt loops to take off the waistband. So the waistband, the marking is going to go from about the side seams to both side seams. So I'm just going to remove the waistband. Let's open the waistband and remove it. Now we're going to, I'm not really going to cut it as much as possible in case if it needs to be lengthened at all. But sometimes you have to cut it because you can't stuff, depending on how much you have to stuff up, you can't stuff like 1 inch up in there. That's only 1/2 inch. So sometimes you have to cut it. So the waistband is off. Okay, so I'm not gonna remove any of these teeth. I'm just gonna sew over them, stuffed up inside. In case it is wrong, then you can take it apart, right? But just be very careful when you go to sew over that part. So you can see my new mark, where my mark is. So that's where I wanna line up my belt. So it is a little big, and so we're gonna have to cut it a little bit. So I'm just going to trim it just right above the zipper right there. Just taking off a little bit. Okay? And then I'm going to pin that all on before I sew it. When you get to the zipper part, if you have to do it slowly and turn your machine by hand so you don't break your needle when you go over the zipper, that is fine to do. When you get to the end, give a little back tack. Oh no, I ran out of bobbin. Playing tricks on me. So that's why I don't take my pins out before my stitch line is complete. In case the bobbin runs out just like it did, then your pins are still in it. So when you get to your zipper part, if you're scared to sew over the zipper, you could always run your machine by hand turn your sewing machine till you're over the zipper. And get to the end, back tack, make sure the waistband is all sewn up. There we go. Once you have the waistband back on, then you can sew down your belt loops back down. Just give them a little tack, tack, tack. If your jean fabric is too thick, a great trick is to get a little hammer and pound down the fabric so it's not so thick for you to sew in your machine. There we go. There's the final product. So it's just a little bit shorter in the zipper. So now it's not going to pool in here down in her crotch. Easy peasy. And I like to double up my stitching, run 2 stitch lines so it looks like the same jean thread. So you don't have to buy specific threads just to work on jeans. Hope that helps.